Imagine navigating two worlds, each with its own unique set of traditions, expectations, and perspectives, all while trying to figure out where you truly belong. That is the journey that I've been on growing up with a bicultural identity. Tonight, I'll be sharing my personal stories and experiences that I hope will resonate with many of you. Whether you came from a bicultural background or have ever felt torn between two entirely different parts of yourself, my hope is to connect us through those challenges and beauty of finding harmony and diversity. If you were to ask me how I would describe myself today, I would say I'm American, but also Chinese. However, I didn't always feel this way. Growing up as both American and Chinese, I often felt like I was bouncing between two worlds, never fully belonging to one or the other. The experience of being bicultural made me feel confused and isolated, as if I were constantly drifting in a space where I didn't quite fit. At times, I wish I could just be one or the other, or maybe even neither, as being a blend of both cultures seemed to leave me without a solid identity. When I was 7, I remember asking my mom if I was American or Chinese. She replied, "You're 100% both." This left me perplexed. How could I be 200% of anything? The idea seemed illogical, and the supposed completeness only deepened my confusion. If I belong in both cultures, why did I feel like an outsider in both? This sense of displacement was only reinforced by my everyday encounters. Sitting in the school cafeteria in 4th grade, I eagerly opened the lunch that my mom had prepared for me. The pungent foreign smell of the salted fish fried rice filled every corner. Almost instantly, my classmates who were eating cheeseburgers and sandwiches turned around and wrinkled their noses, disgusted by the unfamiliar smell. I heard murmurs of, "Hey, what's that stinky smell?" followed by glares and snickers of disgust. My face burned red with embarrassment as I quickly threw my lunchbox back into my backpack. At that moment, I felt an overwhelming wave of shame, not just for my lunch, but for my entire culture. I wanted to discard the fish and the rice and trade it in for the sandwiches and cheeseburgers around me. I wanted to leave behind my Chinese identity and blend in with my American classmates. Despite this, as I grew older, I often felt like I was becoming too Americanized and separated from my Chinese culture at times. Although my parents had sent me to Chinese school, my Chinese reading skills only worsened as I spoke more English at school with my peers and a patchy mix of Chinese and English, or Chinglish, at home. I could see the disappointment in my parents' eyes when I struggled to answer my grandparents' Cantonese questions, and my grandparents only speak in Cantonese. When I stumbled over simple Chinese characters, or when I suddenly switched to English during family dinner conversations. Every fumbled word felt like a small betrayal, not just for my language, but for my family's heritage. The more I lost touch with my native language, the more I felt like an imposter, someone who didn't belong in either world. I didn't feel Chinese enough, yet I didn't seem American enough either. No matter which way I turned, I felt like I was failing to be whole. For years, I wrestled with this constant sense of inadequacy. It felt as though I was being forced to choose. Should I suppress my Chinese roots to fit in with my peers, or should I hold on to them even if it left me feeling disconnected? Choosing one side felt like I was rejecting a vital part of myself, but attempting to hold on to both felt like I was performing an awkward balancing act. This tug of war drove me to a state of self-doubt, where I longed to fully inhabit a single identity, to fit neatly into a single category. Instead, I found myself caught homesick for a place that didn't exist, a place where I could truly be myself. Through the years, I've realized that I didn't have to choose one culture over another. I can accept and even celebrate the richness of being bicultural. Being bicultural isn't about splitting yourself into different groups. It is about embracing the entirety of your identity. I came to see that my dual identity was not a weakness, but instead a strength that could enrich my life in profound ways. What my mom said about being 100% Chinese and 100% American finally made sense to me. Being 200% doesn't have to be irrational. It could be empowering. I started to redefine what it meant to be whole, understanding that I can draw strength from each one of my cultures without sacrificing one for the other. For example, I can stay connected to my Chinese roots by going on walks and trying new Chinese restaurants with my grandparents, watching Chinese dramas with my sister, and making traditional Chinese dishes with my family, such as dumplings. At the same time, I can stay connected to my American roots by catching up on the newest Marvel movies with my friends, attending cookouts and barbecues with my relatives, and sharing my diverse experiences and perspectives with my peers. This realization transformed the way I viewed myself and the world. I no longer felt pressure to hide one culture to fit into another. Being bicultural gave me a deeper and more complete understanding of the world. I realized that my bicultural identity helped me become a more knowledgeable individual by interpreting situations in multiple ways. I can use my dual culture as a unique lens through which I can interpret the world, a source of creativity and a source of empathy. In history class debates, I can draw on my bicultural identity and contributing insights from both my Chinese culture and my American culture, drawn from my Asian upbringing while having grown up in the West. When solving problems, I can draw on my ability to see issues from multiple angles, generating solutions that blend a variety of approaches. Most importantly, my bicultural identity became a bridge that connected me with people from diverse backgrounds, allowing me to form deeper and more meaningful relationships. This experience has shown me that being bicultural isn't about splitting yourself into different parts to blend in. It is about accepting all parts of who you are and realizing that this mix is what makes you truly special. I learned that I didn't have to think of my bicultural identity as a choose one option situation. I can be American and Chinese at the same time. I've realized that I've been 200% whole this entire time. I can enjoy both salted fish fried rice and cheeseburgers. My 200% felt right because it made me, me. Thank you.